Hi lovelies and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
So lovely, so I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys where a lot of Pankala women are actually out for a 4B movement, all because of the outcome of the election, and this got a lot of people reacting. I was able to put out some of those stitches. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of these videos, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
Women in the US are not happy over the election and they're starting a new movement because of it. So since Kamala lost, thousands of women are refusing to accept that this has happened because it was completely unexpected to many. And this situation has angered many women to the point that they're now bringing over a new movement to the US called the 4B movement. Women are saying if they don't see the tables turn to Kamala over the next few days, which is very unlikely, they're gonna start the 4B movement, which actually originated in Korea. The 4B movement is basically 4 different rules which all state that they're going to have nothing to do with men anymore. And women who are starting to follow this movement are no longer wanting to date, marry, or talk to men anymore in an attempt to make changes to their rights. This is especially since Trump has won and they don't think he's going to do them any favors when it comes to certain things and rights. Now this movement isn't massive in Korea, but thousands of women still follow it over there and its effect is kind of debated still. However, what's scary to a lot of men is the fact that it might become much bigger in the US, given that many women are really not happy right now with who won. We're not going to find out how this is going to affect us for at least a while, but the fact this is growing is making a lot of people concerned and it could have real repercussions.
Now that Trump has won the election, I've seen a lot of people on TikTok asking about what the 4B movement is and where it's from and how they can participate. So as somebody that's researching the 4B movement in Korea right now, let me tell you about it. In case you are unaware, the 4B movement is an online movement predominantly in South Korea where women are partaking in the 4 Bs. The B refers to the word no in Hanja, which is like the Korean Chinese characters, and it's just attached to an action to say that they're not doing it, right? So it's going to be B and then an action. Those 4 actions are sex, child rearing, marriage, and dating. So if you add the B, that means no sex, no child rearing, no dating, no marriage. I'm sure you know, but the Korean birth rate is about 0.7 right now, and while it's not completely attributed to the 4B movement, it's definitely a contributing factor. Ever since 2015, there's been an uptick in violence against women within South Korea. I'm sure you guys have heard of things like the Gangnam case, where a girl was killed at the Gangnam station. There have been numerous cases of sexual violence and violating women. You can see that through the Telegram Enbonbon case, which is not the AI case that actually came out this year. It's a different case that came out a few years ago. There's just been a lot going on against women in South Korea, and their solution to that is participating in the 4B movement. Now, you might be asking yourself, why are women doing this? What is the purpose? It's really a safety thing. Number 2, the world is too expensive to have kids. It's too expensive to do anything. You're protecting your financial stability by not being in a relationship and not being married. And lastly, it's just ultimately self-fulfillment. Korean women are partaking in this movement because it's what they want to do. It's not what society is telling them that they want to do. And it is clearly sending a message, because even though this movement is just pertaining to women and them abstaining from wanting to be with men, men are not happy about it. Now that you know what the 4B movement is, now that you know where it came from, if you would like to participate, those are the 4Bs, girl. Get at it. If you want to learn more about the 4B movement, or if you literally have any questions about it at all, let me know. I am researching it in Korea right now, so I can look up anything that you need to know, or I might know whatever you want to know. At the very least, regardless of whether you want to participate in the 4B movement, whether you think it's good or bad or whatever, I just hope that as women, we can come together and create a community where we support each other in this time, which will be very interesting for the next 4 years and probably far after. So yeah. Good luck, guys.
I just looked up what the 4B movement is. And I literally fell to the ground crying. I had finally pulled myself together today because we actually are in a dangerous situation. Aside from the news this morning about who won the election, we actually have a fire that started and it is very close to where I live, and people are now losing their homes very close to where I live. So I was sent home early today from work, but that's not what this is about. I literally looked up what the 4B movement was. If you don't know what the 4B movement is, Korean women had decided to stop having babies until they received equal rights, and their country was screwed because they weren't having enough kids. Their population was going down too quickly. I cannot believe that that was something that had to be done, and that now we are at our rock bottom and this is where we are at. I feel like I'm in a different world today. This is so heartbreaking. I'm beyond words and feelings today. Beyond.
I have talked about celibacy before. After Julia Fox spoke on it publicly, I think that it allowed more women to openly speak about it. I personally have been celibate or abstinent for several years and haven't gone on dates with men because, one, they're disappointing, and two, what's in it for me? I think it is important to highlight the 4B movement in South Korea, where women are coming together to decenter men because men are treating them in an unfair way. Do not sleep with men, do not go on dates with men, do not have a baby with a man, and do not get married. 4 pillars, not hard. Once you can get out of your mind that you will not be missing out by engaging in this behavior, you will be better off. When we have honest conversations with ourselves, we have honest conversations on whether or not our expectations are already being met in our romantic relationships with men, oftentimes we will find disappointment. Oftentimes we come to the realization that we are the only ones contributing to the degree that a partner should contribute, and we're better off putting our energy elsewhere. So I encourage you to reclaim your power and have really honest internal conversations with yourself on whether or not being around men in a romantic way at this moment in time is worth it.
So apparently there's this thing called the 4B movement, and I feel like I remember this being a thing after Roe v. Wade was overturned. I don't necessarily know what 4B means, but my 30 seconds of research told me that it's actually a movement proposed by liberal women in protest of Trump being elected. And what does it entail? Oh, madness. And what I mean by madness is refusing to have sex with men that won't, commit, love, support, respect, and marry you, make you their wife. It's insane. What a brand new idea. Who's going to tell them this is actually a very common mindset among conservative women, and dare I say, traditional, old-fashioned. Oh, so you don't want to potentially procreate with a man who's refusing to commit to raising those children alongside you? Oh, right, you're going to send them a message by upping your standards and lowering the risk that more and more babies are going to be aborted due to your instability in life? Wild. Oh no, don't do that. The conservatives will hate it. It's such a bummer that you're gonna weed out the whiny little boys who just want to lay and leave. That's gonna suck. You go, girl. You uphold those leftist feminist values.
To all those lovely ladies out there who are considering shaving their heads for the 4B movement, I want to talk to you for a sec. Now, I am not trying to dissuade you. I'm not trying to persuade you to shave your head, okay? I just want to give my 2 cents because I've shaved my head before. I shaved my head 2 years ago. Now, my shaving of the head did not come as it didn't come with like an illness or something. Like I didn't have cancer, I didn't have anything like that. It was part of a fundraising thing. But I hair to here, and I shaved it. The reason I'm saying anything at all is because whatever decision you decide to make with shaving or not shaving your head, I want you to make an educated one, okay? That's all this is. Shaving your head for a political reason is an extension of your freedom of speech. And I'm never going to tell you to not exercise your freedom of speech. But I am going to tell you that there's a high likelihood that it's about to get cold. It's November, right? It's November, and if you shave your head right now, you're going to experience a different level of cold. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I shaved my head in September, and hats were my best friend through the winter. The other thing I think that is important to consider is, are you shaving your head once, or are you going to stay bald for an extended period of time? Because hair takes a long time to regrow. Now, like I said, I shaved my head 2 years ago, but I was also pregnant very soon after I shaved it with that one. And so my hair growth is a bit faster. Because when you're pregnant, that's what happens. I haven't cut my hair. It's all crazy. I haven't cut my hair since I shaved it. That's 2 years. One of the biggest questions I get about having shaved my head is, will I shave my head again? I'm not going to shave it for the 4B movement. I don't think I'll ever shave it again because I hate the regrowth process. The only time I appreciated having very, very short hair / no hair was when I was morning sick and throwing up and didn't have to move anything out of the way. Because after like 2 weeks, you enter this Velcro stage where you're putting on your shirt and it'll catch on your hair or what stubble you have. And so do I miss being bald? No, I don't. If you have questions about being bald, feel free to message me. Feel free to ask questions, because I think shaving your head is a very big decision, and I think it's a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly because of the impact it will have on you every single day going forward.
I've been waiting for everybody else to catch up to speed for a while. I've been participating in the 4B movement since the summer of 2022. I haven't been intimate with any men at all. I haven't been on any dates with any men. I haven't entertained a man at all. No situationships. None of that absolute hot garbage bullshit that has come about in the past 10 years with like hookup culture and stuff. This is my first talking point right here, and I've made videos about this before on my page, but with hookup culture, I feel like it was pushed onto women, and somewhere down the line it was sold to us as like an empowering thing, when if we really think about this, and when we get down to the bare bones of it, hookup culture is not empowering for women at all. And that is because men have perverted women's sexuality so much that even when we try to use it as a tool for empowerment, it backfires on us because of how much men use us for our bodies and objectify us. So celibacy, at least to me, isn't that hard when you look at it this way and you start to realize that men really don't like you for what you actually are. Like, they don't appreciate femininity. There's a lot of men out here that like and enjoy sex from women, but they don't actually like who we are and our feminine energy that we bring. They only see us as sexual objects. Since the summer of 2022, I've drastically changed and kind of radicalized myself to these ideas because I was participating in hookup culture, and I started to understand how it was affecting the women around me and how it was affecting myself. I was someone that went through domestic violence and sexual assault, and I think I was coping and kind of numbing myself with doing things like that and partying and drinking and stuff. I actually haven't had any alcohol. It's almost been a year, and I'm going for a year. I just don't think in the same ways that I used to, and I'm actually very happy that I don't, because it's brought me to a very peaceful, powerful, strong point in my life where I feel very comfortable within myself. So 4B, like, what is that, right? It's when women are not participating in romantic relationships with men, sexual relations with men. We are choosing not to be married, and we're choosing not to bear children with these men either. But like, what about the women who are already in good, healthy, married relationships? Like, or maybe, hey, you just met someone the other day, or you met someone yesterday. Interact with men as much as you please, right? But I beg of you as women, and I'm not saying this to slut shame anyone, or this is just how I know the game needs to be played. And unfortunately, it is a game. If you don't protect yourself, you will get burned. Genuinely, in order to protect yourself and your peace, you need to be waiting at least, this is like the very least, 3 months before you even consider opening yourself up to a man sexually. Protect your energy and protect your body. Also, if you must get married, consider not taking a man's last name. Consider not doing it. And if you must take the last name, at least hyphenate it with your maiden name. Something I've always known about myself is like, I've just never fantasized, even as a little girl, about a wedding day or a wedding dress or getting married or any of that. Of course, it's definitely crossed my mind. And of course, I do have a desire to find someone that will love and respect me at some point. But I've never really put marriage on a pedestal because I've always known that marriage as a tradition it's always just been a way to show your ownership over a woman. I don't think that's romantic at all. So for the women that are actually wanting to participate in the 4B movement, decenter men, right? Decenter men from your life. Get off your dating apps. Get off the dating apps. If you're still on dating apps, I don't know how you've made it that far, and that's not an insult. That's genuinely like me realizing how bad it is out here in the dating pool. It's garbage. Like you are never going to find a decent man on there. Maybe there's a diamond in the rough, but it's like, don't gamble like that. That's a very risky gamble. Get off dating apps. Create a plan for your life that isn't around marrying a man. Make a whole vision board, make a whole career goal, life path, like what you want to do with your life, travel, business plans, whatever. But try to do it without centering a man in it. And I know that that's going to be hard for some of us. I was a hopeless romantic I was always thinking about who I was going to date. I thought I was going to have a boyfriend by now. I'd never thought about marriage, but I thought I would be at least with someone. It's hard for us to let go of this dream and this fantasy that was sold to us as women. But it's like, men are not going to save us in this 11th hour. Like, we are not coming to be saved. We have to stick together and help each other.
I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this because for some reason whenever I make these kind of videos they always end up on like the red pill side of TikTok where it's just a bunch of conservative men yelling at me, but I'm really passionate about this and I wanted to make a video. I just read an article by the New York Magazine about how the 4B movement, which originated in South Korea, is gaining traction in the United States. And for those of us unfamiliar with the movement, it basically stands for rejecting 4 things: dating, sex, marriage, and childbirth. It's a way for women to protest in South Korea against toxic dating norms, revenge porn, and the glaring wage gaps, and basically saying no to a system that devalues them. The impact of this movement, it has been significant in South Korea. It has resulted in the lowest birth rates of any other country, which is crazy. Women are basically refusing to be a part of this baby making machine to a system that doesn't, respect them. And they're basically just sick of, the cost of childbirth and motherhood being so much higher than the returns that they're getting. There's like no ROI on it. Now with everything happening in the United States with abortion bans, Trump's resurgence, and him being elected into office despite his openly misogynistic rhetoric, there's a growing interest in this movement in this country. And as much as I love the girly pops coming together and fighting the patriarchy, I cannot help but think that this movement is going to fail tremendously in this country until we realize certain cultural differences and start thinking of societal differences between the countries to really make this movement successful. So here's the thing: in the United States, we are deeply entrenched in a capitalist structure that rewards individual success over the collective good. Capitalism thrives on competition, and the competition is inherently built into the patriarchal system, and it's completely inseparable from the patriarchy itself, which is built to benefit traditionally wealthy white men and people in power. This becomes really complicated when you factor things like race in, especially white women in particular are often complicit in upholding these patriarchal norms even when they're the ones being oppressed, which is what? They're caught in this paradox of competing with women of color and also benefiting from women of color not succeeding. And this competition is driven by capitalism, and it creates this divide amongst women of different races. So that's why I think the movement in the United States is so much more difficult to achieve. As for South Korea, the society there often focuses on the collective good rather than individual success. Women there are conditioned to think of the collective good, which is so not the case in America. We're so focused on ourselves that we often don't give a shit about collective responsibility, and the diversity and complexity of our society makes this divide even stronger with all of these racial dynamics, which honestly make a movement like 4B almost impossible to gain momentum here. And then when you factor in things like social media, which has only deepened these divides, American women are so concerned with, appeasing to the male gaze rather than, thinking about empathy and kindness. They want to fit into these mold that these, tech bros have created. And there's just no sense of solidarity amongst women here. It's almost like we're stuck in high school where we're trying to impress the cool, popular guy who has money rather than focusing on being a good person. It's so fucking sad. That's why, as much as I support the movement, I feel like until we really bring women together and, try to focus on the collective good of women, our principles here in the United States can't be aligned with the movement in South Korea. And I feel like the organizers of this movement really need to think about these racial divisions and these cultural differences in order to gain any traction. And the first step in this movement being successful is to bring women together, because we can't fight the patriarchy if there's like a significant divide amongst women, especially white women and women of color. So yeah, I mean, until that happens, I feel like this movement's just gonna fail. And I really hope whoever is, you know, in charge of this movement really like sees this video and thinks about these things. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, because for some reason whenever—
Seriously, lovelies, this is just so like, I don't even know what to say anymore. So yesterday I staged a video talking about a blue friendship bracelet by these pan-colored women. Like, guys, just check the video out. This bracelet of a thing, it's an avenue for pan-colored women to assure black women that, okay, they are here for them. They never voted for red. They are not the ones that actually, made the wrong choice or what have you. And a lot of people, staged the video. People, especially pan-colored women, were bringing all sort of, bracelet, like blue bracelet, and they were like, they are going to embark on it in order to make people that looks like me to feel safe in their own space, like to feel at peace. And this got a lot of people reacting, and I was like, this thing is actually not going to end, it's not going to end well, because in the sense that a lot of pan-colored women, we actually want to post that, oh, okay, I am one of you, like, just to wear this bracelet. But deep inside of them, they knew exactly whom they voted. So that aside, so today I was just going through my For You page on TikTok. I have been hearing about this 4B movement from Korea. It has been happening in Korea, and I actually stitched the video that's about last year. It's about last year, and now, all because of the elections and the outcome of the elections, a lot of pan-colored women are now shaving off their hairs. Like, seriously, lovelies, they are shaving off their hairs, talking about how they want to embark themselves on this 4B movement. Like, for those of us that don't understand what the 4B movement is, the situation whereby is a celibate, like you are not going to be in a relationship, you are not going to get pregnant. Even if you are married, you have to divorce your husband. If you are in a relationship, maybe a promising relationship that might actually end in marriage, you have just like it's an ultimatum to shave your hair, leave your relationship, divorce your husband, become a celibate, like not having anything to do with the male figure until 4 years. And this got me like, what is happening? What's all this? What is happening? We are not even done with the bracelet. Now we are hearing about 4B movement, and a lot of them are telling all of the women to get involved, both pan-colored, POCs, and all of that. I've seen some stitches by our sisters debunking, like, okay, they don't want to get themselves involved because black men and black women actually voted. They actually did their best. That this 4B movement has to do with them that thought that, okay, they were going to do the quiet. I went ahead to talk about how, okay, they're not going to get involved with this 4B movement. I think I'm going to stitch the video separately and put it somewhere else in another videos, because I saw a lot of sisters replying to this. Now, how is this even possible? I know that this has been a thing in Korea, and up till now it has been a thing. But the thing is that when you're dealing with people like this, people like this are not even to be trusted. I know the fact that it's a trend, people shaving off their hair, like, to what end? Like, is it even possible that they are going to be able to do this till probably 4 years and all of that? Like, these are the people that really want to argue any sort of political thing with their husbands and all of that. Like, how do you expect someone that probably in a successful relationship, all of a sudden, all because of your big movement, you want to actually cut it off? Like, I'm just seeing this as a form of, okay, like they're just trying to prove a point. Like, they're just doing too much. They just want to do, to actually prove that, okay, we are not involved. We are doing so many extreme things to make you guys realize that we are sorry. Like, we are sorry. I am not disputing the fact that there are a lot of pink-colored women that actually voted. There are a lot of them, because I think it's about 60%, no more than 60%. Let me just assume that the remaining 40 voted for either the third party and these other ones, and blue. So I'm not disputing the fact that, some of them also try their best, but it's just that people that often, think that they are the superior ones, with their privileges and all of that, it actually takes a lot of work. It's not something that you are just going to overnight, you're going to convince or try to make people to see the truth. A lot of people are seeing the truth, but it's just that the patriarchy have actually made it possible for people not to actually want to, face the truth. Most of them know the truth. Most of them know the way at which the system, favors and not favor, some group of people. But it's just that majority of them like the way at which the system runs. Even if they are seeing the truth in front of them, they still do not care. They still just, want to do their thing. They don't really care. They don't, like, since it's benefiting me, I do not care about what you're saying, even if I know that this is the truth. This is the reason why it's as if some of them are still, using one leg front and the other leg back, or try to like draw backwards. It's just because they know that, okay, the system does not really favor some group of people, but so far it favors me and I don't have a problem with it. Then I don't think that I even want the system to actually benefit every other persons except me. And I believe that some of them really do not want to, to be treated equally the same way the other people have been treated. Like, they just love the privilege and they enjoy it. But that does not also dispute the fact that some of them, actually sees the truth, and they want to go, straight to the truth. They want to actually stand for the truth. But this 4B movement of a thing that have been all over the social platform, people reacting to it, a lot of pan-colored, like, what is actually the essence of shaving off your hair? Are you shaving off your hair as a sign, or as what you want to turn to a tomboy, or like, I don't even understand, because I see this shaving of hair as hilarious. Like, I was thinking that people that actually want to shave their hair, either they want to be styled that way, or maybe they have some kind of, maybe medical thing in order for you to shave your hair and all of that. Like, guys, I saw this. I decided that I was just going to bring it up here for you guys to know what is happening on the social platforms. A lot of women are shaving off their hair. They are on 4B movement. They are divorcing their spouse. They are leaving their healthy relationship because of the outcome of this, concluded election. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section if you are in the supporting motion or you disagree. So please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I'm going to see you when I upload the next one.
Up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We just here to educate and inform ourselves. All right, lovelies, please share this video, subscribe, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.